ध्यायेत् शारदचन्द्रसुन्दरमुखम् ताम्रारविन्देक्षणम् भक्ताभीष्टवराभयप्रदकरम् कौपीनमात्रोज्ज्वलम् स्वात्मानन्दरसानुभूतिविवशम् सर्वानवद्याङ्गकम् श्रीमन्तं श्रीरमणेश्वरं गुरुवरं योगासनाध्यासितं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम्। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामज्जतव पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। Namo Ramana. We will commence today's Atma Vicharam, the Friday's Atma Vicharam, by listening to Bhagavan's Upadesham. And we usually read and meditate his Upadesham from the book Ramana Answers, Self-Enquiry, 1900 to 1950, a compilation of all the answers given by Bhagavan on the subject matter of, on the questions put to Bhagavan about Atma Vichara and Bhagavan's answers to them. This wonderful compilation has been done by our founder president, Sri A.R. Natarajan ji, and we have been looking at the question answers between 1936 to 1950. The questions put to Bhagavan on Atma Vichara between 1936 to 1950. And after meditating on today's question answer by his abundant grace, we will have a 20 minutes Atma Vichara practice session. Following that, our President Sarada Akka would be talking about Atma Vichara as it has been contemplated in Ramana Gita. Ramana Gita, as we all know, is again a compilation of question and answers, questions put by Ganapati Muni and many of his devotees to Bhagavan, and Bhagavan's answer to them, which has been compiled into a Sanskrit question answer or a verses form by Ganapati Muni. Now, this week's question answer. The question is a lengthy question. I'll read. It is the 94th question from the section Self-Enquiry 1936 to 1950. The devotee asks, I have read the works of Bhagavan and others, and though I can understand them intellectually, I have not been able to realize anything in experience. I have tried Bhagavan's method for about 6 years, and yet I have not made any progress. When I meditate, other thoughts come. For people like me, living in cities and doing our work and coming here only occasionally, what practice would Bhagavan advise so that we can succeed better than I have so far been able to do? Which is more or less how we feel, the city dwellers, the people who are taken up work and be able to only spend a few time, morning or evening, in Atma Vichara or in spiritual sadhana. This is like a common question that would come. I've been practicing this for quite some time, and there is no special experience. And what should I do so that I will be able to practice it, or I should be able to get an experience despite my inability to practice it continuously. So this is where Bhagavan's answer is very important for us to realize that more than the question, if you recognize what Bhagavan is giving here as an answer, how it becomes realized, how we can realize the truth. I'll read out Bhagavan's answer. Your real nature is always there. Your meditation come only temporarily. Reality being yourself, there is nothing for you to realize. All that is required is that you should give up regarding the unreal as real. I repeat that. All that is required is that you should give up regarding the unreal as real, which is what all are doing. The object of all meditation is only that, to give up all thoughts, not to give up many thoughts, and to keep to one thought. As for practice, there are many methods. You may do self-enquiry, asking yourself, who am I? I repeat Bhagavan's answer again. Your real nature is always there. Your meditation come only temporarily. Reality being yourself, there is nothing for you to realize. All that is required is that you should give up regarding the unreal as real, which is what all are doing. The object of all meditation is only that, to give up all thoughts, not to give up many thoughts, and to keep to the one thought. As for practice, there are many methods. You may do self-enquiry, asking yourself, who am I? In the first and foremost answer, Bhagavan says, he says your real nature is always there. Your meditation come only temporarily. Reality being yourself, there is nothing for you to realize. All that is required is that you should give up regarding the unreal as real. Now that since the truth is already there, and that is what we are not able to grasp when Bhagavan is saying is that there is a truth and I can stay put there, and what should I do to stay put there? But a lot of times, as a spiritual sadhakas, like we go to a work from morning till evening and do many things, similarly we think that the meditation or the spiritual sadhana is something I will be able to do and I will be able to experience. And in that idea, in that reality we give to that unreal thought, Because in that we recognize that we are not the self. We are not yet the self. We are some individual, and we will do some sadhana to get back to the reality. So we are given the unreal, the reality. And then embark on doing something, doing the meditation, doing a spiritual sadhana, a nama japa, whatever that is. And in that very process, we miss what Bhagavan is trying to tell, that we are already the self. So then, if I am already the self, what is it actually making me feel that I am not? That is what I should rather address, isn't it? Rather than what spiritual sadhana should I do, rather than I don't have a special experience and all of that, I should be asking myself this honest question. If Bhagavan is saying that I am already the self, and so is all the Vedantic works, so is all the Upanishads, and obviously they are not lying, then why am I not holding or giving attention to that? And why am I getting carried away by these thoughts that I need to do meditation, I have not realized, and all of this, which makes me feel I am not the self? Why do I give it a reality? And that is why Bhagavan is saying that is what is the source of the problem, that we give the unreal the reality. This we have to recognize. So every thought which makes us feel limited, which makes us know something, which makes us do something, that or in total, all thoughts, Bhagavan will simply put it as all thoughts are nothing but a limitation, because it rises for the idea I, the limited idea I, which is limited to this body. And therefore, since I am limited to this body, obviously I am not the self. I have taken myself to be this body. Therefore, all thoughts are unreal, and therefore me giving reality to them is I disregarding what Bhagavan is saying, that I am the self, and I am considering myself very capable as an individual to do something and to know something which is of my real nature. And rather than abiding by what Bhagavan is saying, to not give the reality to an unreal thing. So who am I can be seen here in this, at this juncture we can see. Who am I can be seen as one way to find the truth. We can consider or approach who am I as a means of finding out what is the truth, or who am I, as Bhagavan is putting it here, as a way to let go the unreal. If I was giving a reality to something, and who am I is an enquiry which makes me become vigilant of my error, the error of giving a reality to an unreal idea, unreal thought, and let go. Because that is, if I give reality to it, it makes me limited, it makes me not the self here and now, feel as though I am not the self. Therefore, who am I can be seen as a way to let go the unreal, or who am I can be seen as a way to find the real. But the second is what Bhagavan is more insisting of. Who am I is to let go the unreal as me giving reality to the unreal. That is what who am I is more about. The inquiry is more about that. And Bhagavan continues to say, The object of all meditation is only that to give up all thoughts, not to give up many thoughts, and to keep the one thought. Now, because I need this ekagrata, this vigilance, to ensure that I never give reality to an unreal, I need to be very, very aware of it. I may get, right now the thoughts and my consciousness are getting entangled like a wheel and the axle. I'm not able to separate them. My consciousness and my thought is, or my reality and my thought is getting entangled. Therefore, the thought looks very real because it appears as though it exists, and also I'm aware of it. This enquiry, who am I, is a way of clutch by which we disengage the axle from the wheel. And we clearly see that this part, the wheel part, is like the idea, all the thoughts, which is all running, is all nothing but unreal. And therefore, this enquiry is a way of disengaging these two which are getting continuously engaged. And the whole purpose of any meditation we do, meditation means there is some object, there is something out there. I still have the subject-object divide. But the only purpose, Bhagavan is saying, that if we are doing meditation, is to make it focus on one thing, so that it gains the strength to then hold on to the reality as it is and completely disregard the unreal. That is the whole purpose. To get that ekagrata is the whole purpose of meditation. The meditation will not bring about any truth, because the truth is already existing. The meditation will bring about ekagrata in this subject-object divide, wherein we always have one subject and many objects. It becomes one subject, one object. Therefore, even when many objects are changing, which we cannot control, like a movie being played, at least I will have focus only on one thing, and I will not have focus on many things which are coming and going. The virtue of that meditation, that conscious exercise which we call as meditation, is that I can disregard many and hold on to one object. Therefore, I will get the ekagrata. But if Bhagavan is asked what is the right practice, Bhagavan says there are many methods, but self-enquiry is better. He says, asking yourself, who am I? The advantage of Atma Vichara is not only that it brings the ekagrata for every thought. To whom is this? Me. So it brings the ekagrata to I, the individual who is having this thought. Therefore, it accomplishes that ekagrata. It brings my attention to that one object, which is my individuality, which is the bottom of all my objective experience. But further, by inquiring who am I, Bhagavan's vichara of who am I, by questioning the unreal I, or what do I really refer to as I, by questioning the unreal I, he takes our attention to giving reality to that which is real. And the unreal is inquired into. Who am I? He makes us inquire the unreal, or make us recognize, oh, I am giving my reality to this idea that I am this body mind. I am doing that error where Bhagavan is saying, if I stop doing this error, I am the self. But by committing this error, I am putting myself into a state of limitation. That recognition comes about with the inquiry, who am I? With Bhagavan's abundant grace, with which alone we have come to this most direct path. because he makes us recognize that there is only the reality. All the unreal ideas are only thoughts, and it is just only thoughts. None of them is something that we need to give a reality and get limited and miserable. All we need to do by the act of enquiry is stop to give the unreal the reality and turn the attention back. Or when we stop it, what remains is the reality alone. When we stop giving reality to the unreal, what remains is reality alone. So, in a way, he is saying that when we don't rely on anything, when we get to that state of niralamba, where we don't rest our presence, or the idea of our presence based on a thought or based on an idea, and when we don't do that, what remains is our real nature. This abundant grace. The next 20 minutes, let us practice Atma Vichara. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. More Ramana. Over to Sarada.
Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. By the immense grace of the self, shining as Ramana, manifest to us as Ramana, we, in this part of the satsang, we are meditating on Bhagavan's teachings as compiled by Ganapati Muni in Ramana Gita in 18 chapters. 18 chapters on the lines of Bhagavad Gita. And we are now meditating on the 10th chapter. The 10th chapter, which is Sangha Vidya, on society. And we saw that Bhagavan has said that each individual should work for the welfare of the society, like the organs of the body work for the welfare of the entire body. Then Bhagavan also said that one should serve the society through the speech, that is the body, word and deed. Sanghasya vangmanah kayet upakaro yatha bhavet swayam tatha charan nityam swakiyan api bodhayet. Not only should one serve the society through body, speech and mind, one should also enthuse or instruct all one's dear ones to do so. Be of use to the society. Do some good to the society. I have read somewhere that Sri Krishna in Bhagavata talks about the beauty of a tree and how a tree lives completely for the society. Everything about the tree is for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of others. Its shade is available even to one who has come to cut it down. It breathes out, as we all know, it breathes out oxygen for all of us to breathe in. It takes in the carbon dioxide that we breathe. It allows the rain to come down on earth. It facilitates the rain to come down on earth. It gives us flowers and fruits. So the tree is completely for the sake of the society. And finally also, when it falls, its wood is used for, if not for making costly furniture, depending on the nature of the wood, it's at least used as firewood. It is used to give warmth. It is used to give heat. So the tree lives entirely for the society. Similarly, Bhagavan says we should also live for the good of society. In the chapter 8 on ashrama dharma, we would have noted that Bhagavan has talked about the grihastha as having been instituted in order to do good to society. It is for the welfare of the entire society that the grihastha has been established, Bhagavan said over there. So that is life in society. But if you look at the other ashramas, if you look at the brahmacharya ashrama or the vanaprastha ashrama or the sannyasa ashrama, they are not the people who are living in society. Vanaprastha, by the very name, it says one who has gone to the vana or the forest, or rather one who has moved away from the mainstream of social life. And the sannyasi has renounced everything. The brahmachari is just a learner, a beginner. So, who is the main person who is taking care of the society? It is the grahastha. So, the grahastha's very purpose of grahastha Bhagavan told us, is in order to support the others, support the people in the other three ashramas who cannot support themselves, who are in the pursuit of learning alone. So, the great good that the grahastha does is good for society. Here also, Bhagavan says that one should do great good to society. It's one's beholden duty to serve the society and to enthuse others in one's circles to similarly do so. आनुकूल्येन संघस्य स्थापयित्वा निजं कुलं संघस्यैव ततो भूत्यै कुर्यात् भूतियुतं कुलं. Bhagavan says, first take care of your own circle. First make sure that you are strong. And then help the wider circle, increasingly wider circle. This reminds me of when we get into a flight. Just before the flight starts, the primary instructions are always repeated. How to wear the safety belt and so on. And in that, a very important instruction is, in case of fall in cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop down before you. Take it and wear it like this, put it on, and then start breathing normally. Then they'll say, make sure you wear your own mask before assisting others to do so. So, Bhagavan says, first strengthen your own circle. Then allow that strength, allow that, say, if you have formed a small society which is strong, why have you formed that society? Not to make that society strong, not to make it different from the rest of the society, not to make it stronger than other parts of the society, but remembering just as all the organs of the body serve the society, similarly each individual, similarly each group, each family is one group. Then there may be other such groups. All of them are meant to strengthen, to serve the society. Now, these are instructions, of course, for us, in one sense, to have our life in the world. There are two parts, one may say, there may appear to be two parts to our life. One is the inner life and one is the outer life, if one may say so. The inner life is our freedom, absolute freedom, says Bhagavan, to abide in the self all the time. And the other one is the life that the body is destined to undergo. So in that, the body is a part of society. And there the body has to work for the good of the society. Do we have the freedom to do so? When Bhagavan says you work for it, that means that a freedom, though there may not be a freedom for us to do A, B, C, D in this world. There's one thing that we say, that everything is destined. It goes according to the destiny. But we do not know what is destined. So it is for us to have the Shubha Ichcha. If we have any desire at all, if we have any thought at all, we should seek to do the best. Then, of course, like in all things, whether outside or inside, the phalam is with Ishvara. Ishvara, it is karturagnyaya prapyate phalam, so it's not in our hands. However, it is for us to seek, to try to seek to do the best. Now, if we look at what is a society, we also saw that, of course, our body is a society. What about the mind? The mind is also a society. It has got so many types of thoughts. It has so many kinds of functions. It has something called memory. It has something called cognition. It has all this. So that is this society of the mind in tradition has been described as a society of manas, chitta, buddhi, ahankara. These are the four aspects or the four functions of the mind. Bhagavan just calls it a mind, simplifies it. But then there are these aspects, and all these aspects should work together for each other's good. So the manas is the one which has desires. So what should the manas do if it is the desires? What should be the desires that we have? It should be such desires which are for the good of the whole. What is the good of the whole? What is the good of the whole entity called this person, this ahankara? What is the good of the ahankara? It is to abide in the self. So the manas and the buddhi, the reason, the discrimination, everything should support that. We should try to be cohesive in our approach, in our desires, in our reasoning. Everything should be cohesive. When one wants something very, very intensely, say if one wants self-knowledge very intensely, when that becomes the only need for us, then what happens? All the other things will start working towards that. The desires will be only pertaining to that. The reason will be given to us. This is the best thing to do. Why do you want to do something else? Why do you want to do A, B, C, D? What is the need to engage in all this? Otherwise, the reason will be pulling us in one direction, desire will be pulling us in another direction. We cannot say what will happen to the individual. So we have to treat ourselves also as one cohesive society and work towards the ultimate good of this being, of this individual, whether it's physical or it's the mind. We should work cohesively and we should encourage every thought to move in that direction. The good of this society, the good. Why has this body come? Why has this body society come into being? The purpose is to abide in the self. So it has to reach its purpose. That is the highest good. We have to move towards that. So when one thinks that way, then the mind, body, everything becomes unified. It starts moving harmoniously. Otherwise, I was reminded of the Ji Kameshwar was once narrating the Ramayana. At that time, the Rama Ravana Yuddha, when he spoke about that, he was speaking about Guru Gobind Singh's version of Ramayana. I think a very beautiful short version is there. In that, he describes the 10 heads of Ravana. In that, each head of Ravana is doing something entirely of its own. One head is thinking of Sita, one head is looking at Rama and getting angry, another head is thinking of is being merry about something, another head is very sorrowful, another head is thinking maybe of Mandodari or his kingdom. Each head is doing its own thing. That is the picture of Ravana which Guru Gobind Singh portrays. Because the mind appears to be like that sometimes. We seem to be multiple entities. Each entity wanting to do A or B or C, like the multiple organs in the body. So if all of them come together, all of them should come together and decide to serve the highest need of the whole. We can look at it like this in our sadhana. And externally, if we find that our purpose is for the good of society, it is not to achieve any personal goals at all. that cuts off a whole range of desires for us. We need not worry about what is happening to us individually, isn't it? When Bhagavan says that our purpose is to serve society, then we are not worried what happens to us individually. We will be quite happy. We'll be moving along with that higher goal of goodness, and then it is for the good. So the goodness is also in our thought constantly. Good for somebody, good for somebody, good for the society, good. So it cuts off negative thoughts, but there can be some conflicts whenever there is an external goal. Because what happens, I may think A is good for society, somebody else may think B is good for society. Then what happens? Then between us a clash will come. That's why this instruction of Bhagavan to do good for society is preceded by the instruction that we should work like organs of the body. We must be in fine tune with the need. The organs of the body are in tune with the need. So how can we be harmonious with the need? There is the next question of Yoganatha comes in. That question is, he says, Shantim kechit prashansanti, Shaktim kechin manishinaha, Anayoko gunojayant, Sanghakshema krito bhavet, krite bhavet. He says, should we move towards peace or should we move towards power? Should we simply remain established in peace or should we use the Shakti, the Ishvara Shakti, given to us in many ways? Everything, whether we speak or we move or we think, it is all Shakti. It's all the power of the energy of the self. So should we utilize this power for the sake of society? Or should we utilize peace as the tool for the improvement of society? And Bhagavan says, Swamana Shuddhaye Shanti Shakti Sanghasya Vruddhaye Shaktya Sangham Vidayoche Shantim Samsthapayet Thata. For the individual, peace is supreme. And for the society, power is helpful. But even though we use the Shakti, even though we use the power for the good of the society, ultimately, after that, the society also has to be established in Shanti, in peace. That means, as Bhagavan says in Navamani Malai, Achala uruvil achakti odungida ongum arunachalam. So ultimately, whether it's the society or it's the individual, peace is the supreme goal. So where necessary, the manifestation, the power will automatically do its task, because Bhagavan says everything is automatic divine action. So let it do, let the power move to take the society to its good. And as individuals, we should be in peace and allow the society also to get back to this peace. Understand that peace is the final goal. The means may be power, but the final goal is peace. That is our true nature. To abide in that true nature is the goal of society also. It is the goal of the individual. And as individuals, Bhagavan says, we need to serve the society. How best to serve the society? Bhagavan says the best service to society is to abide in the self. So, if we want to serve society in the best manner, we are to abide in the self through self inquiry. Bhagwan's grace is guiding us to get back there. In case we have any questions about the society, etc., Bhagwan is answering them, clearly indicating that we have to work for the good, the ultimate good, and that happens with our own ultimate good, which is being Atmanishtha. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ram.
Namaram. Apara Satchit Sukhavarirashi Yasyormimatram Bhuvanam Samastam Guhahitam Tam Ramanam Gabhiram Chintavihinam Hridi Chintayami Chintavihinam Hridi Chintayami.
Pick up this.
Namaram Naka, Namaram.